Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
Okay, so can you tell me what your name is and what subject you teach?
Okay. My name is Anthony Sabedra, and I teach sixth and eighth grade Spanish.
So, why do you love teaching Spanish?
Um, I think, that's a loaded question for me. I love being with the girls. I love teaching my discipline because I think it's a skill that, I know it's a skill that's very important for them. I keep comparing the experience to myself when I was growing up. It was nice if you knew another foreign language. It certainly wasn't a necessity. But for students today, the girls today, it's a lifetime skill. It's something that's very important for them to do as citizens of this world, for them to be able to not only understand their own culture, but also the culture of another people, another race even.
Great. So can you tell me about the last time you were really excited to go to work the next day, and why was that?
I'm sure you probably already heard this from some of my colleagues, but I'm excited every day, honestly. I'm super excited to come in and see the girls. And for whatever reason, I mean, seeing them obviously, but I think to be able to get into my subject material, to be able to get into the lessons that I created for them, and just being able to see those light bulbs just go off, and I'd rather to go on, to be able to see those light bulbs go on, and that sort of look of, oh, okay, that's why they do that, or that's why they say that. So it might be a cliche, but for me, honestly, I'm excited to come in every day.
Okay. And how do you think teaching Spanish is different from teaching other subjects?
Well, of course, I'm going to say that my discipline is the most challenging to teach, but I think we're all, whether or not you're a math teacher, an English teacher, history, science, PE, music, theater, we're all very unique. In my sense, like really in any discipline, it's making very accessible to the girls what may initially be a mystery, offering a code for them being able to decode a language, looking at a series of words, at first looking at a series of words and wondering, how am I ever going to decode this? But I think fundamentally that's what any discipline is, just to be able to make clear what initially may be unclear or maybe even a mystery.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you tell me about one of your favorite teaching experiences?
That's a loaded question because there are many for me. I think, and I remember you were on this field trip that we had last year, Louisa, when we went to the public library and saw an exhibit on the presence of Latin music in American culture. For me, because music is something that I'm very passionate about, as well as teaching Spanish, to be able to have the girls look at this wonderful exhibit, and there were people, musicians there that they certainly knew about. I think for them being able to make these connections of what they had maybe learned in sixth grade when I had your daughter, for example, and they got to see the life story of Selena, the Tejano musician, the Tejano singer, and then there was an exhibit there that included her. I think was talking about those light bulbs going on. There was a light bulb that went on. I think also maybe even something as simple as bringing churros, which is part of Spanish mid-morning culture. You have your churro and you have either a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate, which for them is for some of them maybe all about the treat, but then also understanding this is a part of this particular culture. I'm very excited to teach adjectives, for example, because then I have a parent who says to me, thanks for teaching adjectives to my daughter, because now she can insult her brother in another language that he doesn't understand. So there are so many things about my discipline has just make me very excited, and they hopefully translate in the lesson.
So what keeps you up at night about your job? Like, what's frustrating?
So, what keeps me up at night, maybe the big thing is, did I reach all of those girls? Did I reach all of my students? Because sometimes, and usually the younger the girl is, sometimes she may not be the most forthcoming in coming to me after school or coming to me in conference and saying, I really don't understand why we do this in Spanish. I don't understand why this goes with this, for example. Even though I'm constantly inviting and saying, don't be embarrassed, don't be shy. I used to think teaching a wide range of abilities was a little frustrating, but then I've had a couple opportunities, mostly in the form of some summer grants and just some of my own reflection, where I was able to sit down and look critically at the whole differentiation issue. So I was able to see if, and I'll give you two quick scenarios. One girl where Spanish is spoken at home obviously needs to be challenged in a different way than a girl who doesn't have much of an exposure. So for me to be able to create something for this girl was a lot of fun. And the other end of the spectrum, the girl who might have some challenges has actually given me the opportunity to go back to the drawing board and to look at my teaching and to look at the ways that I can approach a particular point in several ways, as opposed to the way that I may traditionally have done.
Mm-hmm. Great. Can you tell me about the last time you tried something new that succeeded? And how about a time also where you tried something new that failed?
Okay. I'm thinking of talking about adjectives earlier, having created a completely different lesson it was particularly an adjective, a lesson of adjectives that described people, so short, tall, blonde, dark, nice, not so nice. And my approach, while I think the elements were the same as I would normally have taught it, it was much more interactive on the part of the lesson, and coming to technology later than, say, my younger colleagues has served me very well. So this one particular lesson, I was able to pull those images off the internet of, say, Justin Bieber or Selena Gomez or the other personalities that our students would know, and to be able to have them comment on something or construct sentences in another language about people and entities that they themselves know. I think also by the same token, technology has given me some good lessons on how to streamline a lesson as opposed to making it more complicated. And then this is where I've had some failures where I'm thinking, because it is technology, it doesn't need to be complicated. And again, this has sent me back to the drawing board, and I'm able to think, well, now I have this wonderful device, I have this wonderful tool, technology, and it should allow me to get to my goal all the more quickly. And I think for me, because I am a latecomer to technology, and there are still some parts of it that I think, I haven't quite gotten there yet, but have been certainly open and moving towards being able to allow myself to get there. And this is where my younger colleagues have been an invaluable source of information. So I having been in this profession now for 25 years, I find it very comfortable to fall back on what I know the best, but I also find it exciting to be able to branch out.
Excellent. If you could change one thing about education, what would it be?